I welcome all of you to this wonderful session, a panel discussion and interactive session on mental health during pandemic. Mental health needs more sunlight, candor, and unapologetically honest discourse. We have with us Mr. Sushant Kalra, a parenting and teacher coach, a TEDx speaker, and a founder of Parvarish Institute of Parenting. Before I actually introduce Sushant, I would like to talk about myself first. I am Dr. Rajeshri Datta Kumar, Executive Director, Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. And as you can see in the slide, my accomplishments, whatever little that I have achieved in my life. And it is indeed a privilege to be part of Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. Now, about Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, Jinya, next slide, please. Can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. So it was established in the year 2017, and we are a non-profit organization dedicated to commerce and cooperation for Punjabi network. Basically, it is not only for Punjabi network, but for anybody who wish to be part of the network from any community. Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, PCC, is founded on the principles of diversity and inclusion with a strict no religious and no politics policy in place. We are truly a global organization. We have 17 chapters. We are present in 5 countries and 4 continents. The countries that we are present at are India, USA, Canada, Middle East, Australia, and United Kingdom. Our endeavor has been to facilitate a network forum with a focus on capital building, capacity building, and community building. We believe that our members are a part of an integrated part of PCC, and we offer informative programs, networking opportunities, locating various opportunities, and we also have certain membership benefits that are available with us, but you have to join us. The idea was to create a legacy for the next generation to grow, build, and succeed. We have a charitable arm as well with the name of Punjabi Chamber Foundation. The PCF, Punjabi Chamber of Foundation, has raised $100,000 very recently and distributed 100 oxygen concentrators in government hospitals across Punjab, and it has reached out to the remotest of the pins. We are also now raising funds towards setting up 2 oxygen plants, one in Manali and Jalandhar. We have partnered with Rotary International for the same. We also have a youth wing, which is Global Youth Squad. The idea is to train the young fraternity, young population, by providing them opportunities, mentorships, internships, and professional training sessions. About our speaker today. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, before introducing Sushant, I would also like to draw all of your attention to the benefits of joining PCC. You can see in the slide the beautiful graphic that has been created just for you. Join us and enjoy all the sessions that we conduct for you, that we organize for you. Presenting today, Mr. Sushant Kalra. He is, as I have already mentioned at the onset itself, that he is a TEDx speaker. He has 29 years of professional experience in manufacturing, venture capital, banking, insurance, and education and training. To be honest, Sushant, it is really a pleasure and a privilege to hear you, because I heard you in one of the sessions before, and the teachings are still there with me. And this is what you do to all your audience. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And just to share a little bit more about you, you have trained 8,000 employees in change management, process optimization, and leadership and management. And you have also trained over 25,000 parents and teachers across the globe, which is a huge, huge accomplishment, I must say. You are also the author of Perfect Parenting, How to Raise Happy and Successful Children, which is the need of the hour today, during the pandemic, before pandemic, and post-pandemic also in many parts of the world. He has successfully designed and implemented the No Limit curriculum at the Pradyanam School, Gurugram, which perhaps he'll talk about when he takes the session on today. As I've already mentioned that he's a TEDx speaker, he has also created and developed Parvarish Child Development Model, and he has also been conferred on various prestigious awards from across the globe. One worth mentioning is the Courageous Class Award by the Kenneth Cole Foundation, US, and the other is the 5th Ed Leadership International Conference Education Innovator Award. Welcome you, Sushant, and pleasure hearing you again. And thank you so much. And over to you.
Thanks, Rashi and Sonia, for doing this. So my small request to people who are on the call is to, if you can switch on your videos and the audios. It's a very small group. It will be great to chat up. So it's a request. If your bandwidth permits, my request would be please if you can just switch on your videos, at least. हम एक दूसरे को देख पाएंगे. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know whether Hindi is okay with you or not, but. So can I have people switch on their videos and audios? Because I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a one-way street. I won't be able to do the session if people don't respond and talk. So this will be a chat. We would want to chat up. Just getting information and a lot of noise does not create a difference. So one of the promises I want to make to you for this session is that if the session is about mental emotional health, then the next 1 hour should make a difference to that within the session itself versus getting some so-called gyan over it. So a lot of people would say stress mat lo, maze lo. The reality is very different. So we won't do some information or gyan on it, but we want to take you through a process. So my request would be everybody, Anshu, Genia, if you all both can also do that. Thanks, Silky. That's Silky, right? That's your name?
Yes.
So, okay. Great. Thank you. And Pratinder, Aarti, Govinder, if you can all switch it on, it will be great. San Prakash, does that work? So how many of you are from Australia and how many of you are from actually from Australia? Because Rashi told me that there will be people from India also there.
Australia.
You're from Australia, Silky, right? Hi. And Pratinder is also from Australia. Joginder, आप भी Australia में हैं? I'm sorry, you're also from Australia right now, based out of Australia?
I'm from Amritsar.
Okay, India. Okay, great. So great. On our faces, all seem to be Indians and Punjabis, so पता नहीं चलता कहाँ के हैं. So great. So my request would be if you can keep switching on because we will be talking about stuff. And thanks, Rashi. Can you do me a favor? Can you allow me to share my screen?
I'm sure Gina will be able to give you the permission.
Yeah, can you? Oh, great. Thanks. So just to talk about quickly about what we were talking before the session started with Rashri also that mental emotional health is important, but certainly in the last 1.5 years, the importance has come on the surface. Like people have actually started seeing the shift happening because of the lockdown, being with within those 4 walls of the house, being there for ages. It's looking like as if even till today things are not opened up. I think in Australia it's again getting into lockdowns, right? So it's not been easy last 15, 16, 17 months now. So it's like really when I talk to people, I really feel that it's like the Third World War happening. And in the Third World War, the entire world is at a war. But we don't even know the enemy. We can't even see the enemy. And why am I saying we don't even know even after 17 months is even still now the researchers, the scientists, the doctors are still struggling with it. So every few months there's a new variant and we say, how do we tackle the new variant? The good thing was that we got the vaccine out in place. Never happened before in human mankind. Within less than a year, a vaccine could be out there. It takes 8 to 9 months for people to create that. But it came in, almost everybody got vaccinated. But still, even after vaccinations, there have been deaths, there have been stuff. So I want to open up this entire discussion for each one of you, okay? So I know it's going to be difficult. We normally don't talk about it. But so last 17, 18 months, and this is a very personal question. We will take time. And my request would be for each one of you to participate. I'm not going to talk about what am I doing, but I'm wanting to take you through a process. And whatever will happen here, you will be able to replicate this process at home. You're just one from a group of a family or your organization. But I can promise you what we take you through today, if you can just replicate that at home, and it's not too difficult, we'll talk about that. You will see a huge shift in how you're able to manage your mental emotional health. How can you manage the health for your family members, including children, including adults, including elders. So my question to you is, in the last 17 months, what have you gone through? Like the news which comes every day, it's almost like a scorecard. I still follow cricket. I used to follow the cricket scorecard, but now the scorecard talks about, okay, how many numbers in India, how many numbers in Delhi, and then how many numbers in which country, and how many deaths in which country, what's happening. Uh, Lockdowns happening all the time, hearing about deaths, hearing about people committing suicide. In the second wave, I think each one of us got impacted by this. Each one of us got impacted. Right? So I feel each one of us would have seen death at a very close quarters. It could be immediate family members, it could be extended family, friends. Uh, it was not too easy. Professionally, it's been tough. A lot of us lost our jobs. The businesses went down. Earnings definitely went down. The professional growth has been very, very tough. And for example, my son, he's a pilot. He got his license and his training done in 2019. And by the time he could get the Indian license, the uh, pandemic stuck. And for the last 1.5 years, he's sitting at home, waiting for things to open up. He was so excited about starting a new career, but it's come to a grinding halt. Uh, Financially, it's made a huge impact. Salaries have gone down, cut out, these people losing jobs, and yet businesses closing down. I have a lot of family who are basically traders, uh, having shops all around, but shops have been closed, if you ask me, more than 6 months of the last year. So, huge impact financially. Personally, there's a huge impact in terms of how do we manage all this stuff? How do we manage elders at home, children at home, uh, ourselves? We were told that elders are more at risk, and making sure that our parents, our parents, and our in-laws are all protected, making sure they're taken to the doctors as soon as required. It's been really tough, and looking at them not doing too much is again tough. Your spouses and your children, your son, your daughter, they're going through online classes or going through businesses which are failing. It's been a tough 16, 17 months. I think none of us saw it coming. None of us would have gone through it before. Uh, if I remember something which could have maybe bigger intent, the Indian struggle which happened, the freedom struggle and the partition which we went through, I think 70 years back, is comes close to this. But this is like the entire world going through a havoc and not knowing where the enemy start striking, how the enemy is striking. People used to go out, feel here, am I carrying something back? Will my parents, will my children catch it from me? Will something happen? So I'm sure each one of you has gone through it. So let's take the next 10, 15 minutes. And my request to all of you is, we normally don't talk about it. It is right now maybe sounding counterproductive that why do you want to talk about negative stuffs in your life? Why do you want to air it out? But my request right now is, just drop your guards and let's talk about what have you been going through. So anybody, so your stress levels going out of the roof, and because of that, we becoming snappy, people becoming snappier, shouting at each other, losing our mind, losing our patience at times with our children, everybody. The fear of survival. I think this is the first time ever in our life that survival, physical survival. We all know that life is uncertain, but this is the first time uncertainty of survival was in our face. Whether will we be able to survive tomorrow was a question. I think first time we dealt with that in our life. It's impacted our physical health. We've not been interacting, not been going out. Fulfillment, joy, peace of mind, all of it if you ask me, has been impacted very badly in the last 17 months. So, over to you guys. Who would want to be the first one? And because the group is too small, I would suggest if all of us can take a minute, share what exactly are we going through. I don't want to get into the details of it. You don't have to share all that, but what are you feeling? What are you going through? So, who would be the first one to start?
Can I?
Sure.
Yes. So I think there was a sense of helplessness when you see your very own, your father almost dying, and of course he has survived, but the helplessness was there, and uncertainty, huge insecurity and
Uncertainty, insecurity,
and helplessness.
Actually, what I'll help out for all of you. I've just shared a feeling circle. If you can see it, okay. It has more than 200 feelings listed down. So my request would be if all of you can take a few minutes, and each one of you, okay, and you can take a paper and a pen, write down and go into every color of it. Okay, I'm sure there will be instances of happiness also there, instances of courage or hopefulness. So just go through everything. So the yellow color of happiness to red color of anger to sadness to surprise and to fear. Just take a minute each. How many? I can tell you how I use this circle. Is like I start from the center because center has very gross feelings, and then granulize and go out. But you can read everything. So take a few minutes. Let's take a couple of minutes and really each one of you can identify for yourself what all did you go through in the last 16, 17 months. So
I can, if I can speak.
sure, why not?
Yeah. Okay. So for myself, I probably had a mix of quite a number of these feelings from the different, a bit of anger, a bit of happiness as well. Again, a little bit fearful. So with my situation was I was stood down for work for some time. But at the same time, I had a young child, who was about a year old at the time. So instead of having to go to work, it gave me that opportunity to spend time with my child while still getting the government support financially. So to me, it was kind of, it actually worked in my favor to some extent because instead of going to work, I spent time with my child, which is, obviously invaluable. So for me, there was a sense of happiness, and
granulize. If you go deeper into happiness, could you identify with more such stuff? Because somewhere it sounded playful, enjoying with him.
Yeah, playful, content. I was content because I got to spend time with her. And then obviously, if I further into that, it's joyful. It's, it's valued, and quite thankful that I got that time to spend with her and watch her grow. So, yeah, but then obviously there's that anger towards, I stood down from my job and therefore my career has been put on hold. And yeah, so there was a mixed bag of emotions, but more so for me, I think it was a little bit more towards happiness.
Silly, can you take a minute again? So go deeper into fearful and anger when you said those are there. So if you can granulize them and really get present to exactly what happened.
Yeah, so fearful. Look, I sadly watched on at I was a part of my Mussy had passed away, unfortunately, due to COVID. So that was, a very traumatic experience. And, we were all quite fearful because we watched that deterioration. We were updated. And so it was scary. We felt anxious because we didn't know what was going to happen to her. And then obviously there would be, we were frightened, overwhelmed, worried. Yeah, quite a lot of those feelings there. And then obviously that went into anger, so frustrated that, India wasn't doing enough, or was it doing enough? We don't know because we're so far away. So, yeah, so in terms of for the family, yeah, it was quite a fearful and very sad time,
Yeah.
frustrating time.
Were there some times of aggression, like being feeling aggressive towards something? Why the hell did it all happen? Why did somebody experiment with something like this, right?
Yeah, I guess aggression, but not too much. I guess you don't.
Okay.
There's comes a point where you just have to accept what's happening. It's not only happening to us; it's happening to everybody around the world,
Well, yeah.
and it's very unfortunate. So yeah.
Thanks, Vicky. Thanks for sharing it out and being the first one to do that. Actually, second one. Okay. So anybody else? Let's take a few more people. What exactly are you going through? What did you go through? Could you identify it for yourself? And my request again is, guys, can you switch on your videos? It will be great. It's great to talk to people versus talking to black screens there.
Yeah, it's me, Preet, in the hair, Sushant.
Yep.
So I think it has been a very grateful year on the one side that I'm still holding with a job, working from home from last, as you said, 15, 16 months.
Yeah.
So having that sort of a thing is really grateful to the God, or gratitude. I would say that you have a job and it's working. That's something, as you said, it's one of the biggest thing happening around the world is people are losing jobs or reducing the work, or government is like, especially in Australia or America, the government would have helped a lot, given them but not in the other countries. Like in India, I don't think so. India is able to give that much to everyone.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, so I think it's quite a grateful and gratitude to the country where we are. Certainly, that's part of the happiness or thankfulness to say on that side. The other side, I would say, my son is working from home along with me on similar days and still working straight away. 15 months, so you never get that much of a time to sit together 24 hours, not going anywhere, so sitting together the whole days. And with a young kid, so he's working next door to me, like a next room to me. So it's sort of a thing which I don't think so we'll ever get a chance once we start working from our works, like from our offices. So everyone will be leaving 7:30 in the morning, coming back in the night, and that tired, have your dinner, and
there
go
is
back
family
sleep.
time, so family time and being together, right? Togetherness was there.
It's a big family time. Like I know we can't go out to
But still together.
places to roam about in the world or in the country, but having your own family together at a one place is one of the big things. Every family would have loved it, I suppose. You don't get these days, everyone is busy in everything.
Absolutely.
And everyone has got their things to do and do. Like the kids are more busier than us.
Absolutely.
There are more things to do.
Absolutely.
On the other side, with the fearful side of a thing, I think my mom got COVID and she got well and she's back in India. Can't go, can't do anything. Can't go. I want to go and visit, but she's with sister. She's 100% taking care of her the best she can. But
Absolutely.
you feel helpless, as Ashwini said. You feel helpless. You can't go and meet her. You can just phone calls and those sort of things. But you want to do more than that. Other side, my in-laws, like father-in-law, is old and he's not into the COVID things, but he's so old that you want to see them. All sort of things where you feel helpless. You can't go anywhere.
In any case, right? We're inadequate to handle it ourselves, right? There's some level of.
You feel like you can't go, like even if you want to go out to meet a friend, like at the moment we are in a 5-kilometer truck. We can't leave our house up to 5 kilometers. We can't go more than that. You need to have a valid reason to go out even up to 5 kilometers.
Right.
So the lockdowns we have currently in Sydney.
Yeah.
So that's it's not one, it's all over the world happened, and it's like we have been quite well. Like Australia have worked very well in these things. We stayed well for the last 6 months, and in the last couple of months we have gone back into that sort of a lockdown, month and a half now nearly. So we are back into something. Hopefully we'll be back better in say a few weeks or whatever the best it should be. Can't say the timeline.
Sure.
Yeah, There are certain sort of, yeah.
Anything else you could identify for yourself on this
Yes.
chart? And take your time as people are doing things. And I know this is something which you don't do regularly. So if you can, yes, Sant, you raised your hand, Sant Prakash. If you want to just unmute yourself and speak up.
Hi, how can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. I live in Queens, New York City, and during this, before I've been living there for the 10 years now, and New York was very vibrant town during the summer with millions of people coming in from all sorts of the world.
All over the place.
The COVID hit us first, and now it was a very, very, very scary. And suddenly Manhattan became a ghost town. I have a strong immune system, having lived most of my life in the army and in India and grown up in dust. And also I used to go around everywhere, not scared, right? The more you get scared, because this thing doesn't seem to come to any end, right?
Yeah.
And I have a lot of faith in God, like, when He wants to take you, how He wants to take you, where He wants to take you, it will come. So no need to get afraid. But I was happy, besides that, businesses had gone down. And in any case, in America, businesses are the small businesses, guys like us, like I do real estate, construction, we fix and flip houses. And then I do mostly people this thing, because I'm not very computer savvy. The era I grew up, there were no computers, and live in reality. And so the labor shortages, everything just shut down. And but the good thing part of US is its strong social security system and ability to print trillions of dollars. So they started giving us unemployment and sitting at home. So first time I felt good because one was working from morning till evening, one job, two jobs, and it's a mad, hectic life in New York.
It gets boring after a while.
You know that. I mean, it's like people are just running, and nobody's time to talk to you. I don't know what they're doing. Like, so now they were sitting at home and calling, and so at least one felt good that one got a break, a forced break. Like if it was not there, so it helped us to do a lot of things. But you stayed at home, and the children or everybody who was eating out every day were now cooking their own meal, learning everything from the start. Otherwise, they just this thing. But
Can I bring you back to the feeling chart? If you can share what all feelings did you go through? So if you can just, I said, can I pull you back into the feeling chart which I just showed? The feeling wheel is right there on the screen. If you can just point out what all feelings you went through in the last 16, 17 months. So from being trusting.
Yeah, the feelings were like initially, like it changed over the period of time. It wasn't one feeling. The initial feeling was heroic and like what God, what's come upon this city which was so big and beautiful. And New York is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and everybody would want to come here. But that was the initial this thing. The hospitals were full. My own sisters and all the doctors, they were working frantically, exposing themselves. And then like it started to go away, and we started coming back into like the thinking mode as to what's going to be. A lot of a sort of depressing feeling, like now staying at because one thought that they would control it very fast, right? The Americans have the ability to do that, and then the politics started on this sort of this thing, and
Can I,
one felt that this is going to be not being able to travel, meet your dear ones,
Mr.
right?
Prakash?
Yeah,
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
yeah.
Just to come back, just because we don't have too much of time, and my request is, can you again focus on this circle, the feeling circle, and express what all did you go through? So if
Yeah.
you're going into what happened,
Basically,
I'm not.
two things. I won't take long. Sorry, and I just now going through a feeling of no helplessness, and now coming back to normal. We're feeling this is the way the world is going to be, and people have to work out from their homes. So in phases from anger to helplessness to depression, and then we coming back to new normal. That's what I would basically say.
Great. So my small request to all of you, I hope all of you would have used this time to get present to all the feelings you had, and from, I'm sure, feeling lonely to be vulnerable, like not able to meet people, and not knowing how do you manage something if it happens to you, from being frustrated to depression, as people said, feeling helpless, inadequate, then again feeling happy, trusting, thankful. So my request to each one of you, I think all of us went through all that. So if you can all take a minute right now and give yourself the grace and the space to be. Like, we never have experienced something like this before. Never expected it, never happened before. We've never even thought something like this can happen, which can like lock us up in our own houses, not for days, not for months, but it's been more than a year. Seeing people around dying, seeing all difficulties. Just take a minute, and I'm requesting each one of you to just give yourself the space and the grace to be. Like, it's absolutely okay to feel helpless at times. It's absolutely okay to be angry at times. It's absolutely okay to feel depressed. And at the same time, after a while, being happy and thankful and grateful to God, to your government, to people around you, the happiness we felt because of families being forced to come together. It was, I think, the best time we could spend with our loved ones, which we always wanted to but could never. Feeling out of control at times, and it's perfectly fine to be that. And as I said, if you go to the history of human beings, like, things have happened, not maybe at the same extent, but human beings have dealt with them, have found out ways, and not just survived, but actually thrived even after such events happening. Like the bomb happening today. Today was a day when Hiroshima was bombed. But you can see Japan bouncing back. It's one of the most developed countries in the world. From the day it was completely wiped out, almost wiped out from Earth. And actually, incidentally, it was today's date. But can you all give yourself that grace? Like, let that be, and be. And even if you're facing it right now, even if you're feeling, because I heard Rashi talk about that there is lockdowns again happening, that food frustration started to come up again and creeping up again. And it's okay to be frustrated at times. It's okay to even shout at times. It's okay to shout at your own children, your own family members, not feeling good about it later. Like, give yourself the grace and the space of doing that. And as you're doing it right now, my question to all of you is, at this current time, like only 2-3 people shared, and I'm I hope everybody could write down and could pen down themselves at whatever they went through. Penning it down, acknowledging it that I went through this, giving it a name, that feeling a name, and then letting that be, that it's okay to be like that, and giving yourself the space and the grace. How are you feeling right now? What is your experience in the last 15-20 minutes while people were sharing and you were going through your own feelings, identifying them, acknowledging them? How do you feel right now? What are you experiencing? Can anybody, people who share, it's fine if some of the people can just unmute yourselves and share. How are you feeling right now after doing this small exercise of being with your feelings? Anybody? कैसा लग रहा है अभी? How many of you are feeling lighter? How many feeling are feeling connected, that there is this we are in a virtual room, we are thousands of miles apart, but how many of you could feel in the last 15 minutes that there is warmth in this particular room? There is connection. We could feel a connection between each other. There's this connection, there's warmth there. That whole thing which was happening in the chick happening in our brains, and it's quietened down a bit. It's settled. How many of you are experiencing that? You can raise your hands or maybe unmute yourself and say it. Anybody? Hiratri, you were raising your hand, or so Sun, Silky, after sharing what you shared, Pritinder, and the people who just joined later, how are you experiencing the space of the room right now?
Lighter and connected, Sushant, for sure. And we can just see that the people, it's not me only, people across the globe, they have actually experienced a similar kind of emotional expressions.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks, Rashi, for sharing it. And rest, everybody is on a mute and everybody switched off their video. So my request is if you can switch it on and then use this time to share it. Yeah, Pritinder, hi. Thanks again for switching it on.
So I think it's more of an acceptance that this is a new life or a new norm.
Absolutely.
So we know vaccination has come back, vaccination is there, like everyone is having it, or the world will have it in the next, say, in 6 months to a year. But it has become a norm, and you never know, the next variant will come back and this happens.
My question is slightly different. My question is right now.
Yeah, right now is more of an acceptance of what we are.
Got it. And what are you feeling? Any experience of feeling right now within the room while talking to each other? How are you experiencing this feeling? What is the experience of this?
I would again say it's an acceptance and gratitude that it's good. Right. Whatever it is, after looking at what happened during all over the world, in a much better space than other people are. Thanks to the God and thanks to whosoever we want to do it.
Silky, you can just switch it on and say what are you experiencing right now in this moment? Not for the future, not in the past, but just be
refreshed.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, we feeling refreshed, and we got back our energies at adequate rest, and we are now looking at what's going to be the new normal with the world, how they're going to operate. Retrain ourselves, and got a good chance to study subjects we couldn't do because we were busy in our businesses, and we had to, so it's a refreshing feeling, and did some creative thinking during this period as to how we need to reorient ourselves because of the technology that's coming in. We have to find new ways to work.
Sanprakash, can I bring you back? I'm not talking about what's the future. I'm talking about So we've been talking for 15, 20 minutes. I was just wanting to know, what are you experiencing? What are you feeling right now? Right now, at this moment, not about the future, not
Yeah.
about the
Refreshed. I said in the first, I'll be feeling refreshed from the mundane life I was leading. I'm feeling very happy now that I can now recharge my energies, are recharged to get ahead in life. That's it.
Silky, anything for you? Raise your hand again.
Yeah, so for me, feeling right now, this moment, I'm feeling hopeful. Like, it's nice to be able to sit here and talk about our emotions and feelings about, you know, what we've all been going through. So I'm hopeful that, yeah, there's, you know, future ahead with, you know, everything that the world has accomplished overcoming this pandemic.
Absolutely. So thanks, guys. So what I wanted to take you through this today was simply that uh, a very paradoxical situation. Okay, we've all learned all our life to not share our feelings. Okay? We are all taught from a very beginning that don't cry, don't be sad. And what happens is, when we're doing that, we don't communicate once first with ourselves and then with people around us. So what is happening normally is that each one of us is going through all these emotions. And I won't say these are negative, these are positive. These are all, some emotions are disempowering, some emotions are empowering. We are not used to, one, recognize those disempowering emotions because we call them negative emotions. Uh, First, getting present to what are you going through, articulating it, and then being able to speak it out to people around you. We normally don't do that. So this is exactly what we did in the last 15, 20 minutes. And I want to just introduce to you what exactly can you carry back from today. What do you see in front of you? Anybody? What do you see in front of you right now?
Masks?
Yeah, absolutely. Two masks, right? You know,
Yep.
this is how we normally be in our life. We always have a mask. What we normally feel, what we normally experience, we do not share with people. And as adults, we've reached a place where we don't even get to know for ourselves. So what I wanted to take you through is that some people felt that, okay, fine, there was connectivity here in the room. We felt warmth. A lot of people settled right now. That was because what happened was we just unmasked ourselves. What Silky talked about and what Rashri talked about and what San Prakash and Christopher also spoke about, that it wasn't easy. Like seeing my father, he's 77 right now. I have never seen him sit at home. Never, ever. Even after his retirement, he was going to charitable hospitals, working there, spending about 5 to 6 hours there, just giving away his time and effort to people who to the underprivileged. And for last 1.5 years, seeing him sitting on his bed, not doing anything, has been very painful. Not just for him, but for me too. Like, it felt like, yeah, suddenly he said he suddenly started talking about, yeah, is this life worth it? I've done everything now. I should go. And your father saying something like that just shakes you up completely. And he's healthy and hearty, and then he says that, "Bahut ho gaya. I think there's nothing else meant for me to do, and the world is coming to is on a standstill. Let me go." So just sharing yourself up with people creates that space here in your own head, gives you space, and also gives other people the space to chat and talk. So what I would request would be, at your home, and if you can do it every day, because these days what is happening is our bucket of emotions is getting filled up very, very fast. There's a lot of pent up energy, there's a lot of pent up emotions, and it's not just you. Just imagine you are masked and your child is masked and your grandchild is masked and your spouse is masked, and you're all working together. The patience level getting drained. So what we need to do is like create that space at home where we can do this what we did right now and share it with each other. Okay, fine. Today I felt frustrated at something. Today I was sad at something. Today this thing made me happy. And you're sharing your fears and anxieties. This may fly in front of normal logic sense that we shouldn't. And here I am talking about let's do it. And it's been great. I'll tell you what we've started off doing in the last 2 years. I used to do it with my family, my wife, and my children before, but I started including my parents in it. That every day after dinner, when you're sitting on the dining table after dinner, we're talking about, okay, what made you happy today? What made you sad today? What made you cry today? And just let it be. Don't ask for perfection. Perfectly fine. It's human to go through all these emotions without an agenda and without advising. So if somebody's saying I felt like crying, just let it be and say, okay, fine, it's okay to cry. And what works well, the best medicine. Anybody wants to take a guess when somebody's sharing like this? What's the best medicine, the easiest medicine out of this? Anybody wants to take a guess about it? What would you want? You are sharing something like this, which is deep and heavy. What would you want the other side to do?
Laugh, joke.
Okay, something different.
To be heard.
Feeling heard, obviously. I said no advice, no agenda, nothing, just heard. There's one thing which all of you agree the minute I say it. Anybody wants to take a guess? One more guess. What is it that will just could actually disappear the whole feeling also? Yeah,
I guess some assurance that fine, hota hai, we are there. We will fight it together, something like that.
Still saying that I'm there with you, but second thing, Rashi, I would say a big hug. Yep.
I agree with you.
जो जादू की जप्पी, if you can did that, just a big hug at that point of time is huge reassurance that there is somebody who I can bank on. So whether your child is 1 year old or 10 year old or 25 or 45 or 55, a hug, even a 77, 80-year-old person wants it, needs it, and it's for free. So my request would be provide this space of unmasking yourself. And what I'll do is, Rashi, I'll share this. So what we can do is, one thing I'll tell you, had I not shared this feeling wheel here and with all these words written, we wouldn't have been able to identify what we were feeling. So use this. We don't have vocabulary of this. We were never taught like this before. So we were told to suppress our feelings versus acknowledge and air them out. So here I'm actually saying something very opposite. And this, I'm telling you from experience, this is the most brilliant process of making sure how you can keep mentally and emotionally healthy. Identifying your feelings, giving them a name, articulating it, and then letting them be. That fine, it's okay to be angry at times. It's okay to be fearful. There's nothing wrong in anger. There's nothing wrong in fear. There's nothing wrong in feeling helpless. There's nothing wrong with feeling powerful. All are emotions, and it's perfectly fine to be. And provide that space for all the people in your family and friends, for them to share it and be acknowledged. So this is what I wanted to take you through today, and leave you with one tool, which is unmask yourself, create that space at home with everybody around, and you will do a world of good to them. So any questions we have, we can take some time to any question, thoughts, doubts, anything which you are taking away. Anybody wants to just unmute yourself and say what are you taking away from this session today? Anything. And it's great, rather than using the chat, we're just about 10-15 people here. If you can just unmute yourself and say it up. That's your daughter, Silky. What's her name? You're on mute.
Her name is Kohinoor. Yeah. She's giving me the hug that I needed today.
Okay. And their hug is far more powerful than anybody else.
Yeah.
Far more powerful. Great. So anybody else? So people who've been quiet have been there, and so thanks for your patience to go through this process with me. Anybody wants to say anything? What are you taking back? What can you do today, from today, with your family, within your family structures, friend structure, yourself?
I'm Ranbir. Hello.
Ranbir, loud and clear.
Yes, I'm Ranbir. I'm Silky's dad.
Oh wow!
And yeah, we had been going through a very it's comfortable to say working from home and all that. And recently in the July first week, I retired also. And I was planning a lot of things after retirement. There was supposed to be parties here and this and that. And even with my family, I have two daughters, one Silky and one Rishi. And we had planned so many things, and everything flopped because of this COVID business and all that. And what you were saying, hug is so important. And I couldn't get the hugs from my children, from my grandchildren, and we are feeling very sad about it, me and my wife, because we thought after retirement I will give a lot of time to my grandchildren and all that, and we are stuck inside. It is all right, we are at home, but it is not a pleasant thing. It's 1 or 2 days, 1 week is fine, but when you're sitting, I'm sitting at home since last February. I was working from home. So, but it is not a good feeling. You need to talk to other people. You need to see other people, get a feeling. It is a different life. It's sitting by yourself, you and your wife. How much you can talk to each other?
Absolutely.
It's not a funny thing to be sitting with your wife and spending 24 hours a day, isn't it? I think for every man or any human being, for every human being, sitting with the person 24 hours, it's a pleasant to have spent time with each other. But yeah, at the moment, as you were asking, I really would love to hug my children and all that, grandchildren, play with them, but it is not happening. But it was wonderful talking to you, listening to you, and I really appreciate. I would like to hear more from you.
Pleasure,
It
sir.
was
So,
very
sir,
encouraging. Yeah.
Ranbir, a quick thing. Uh, just give yourself as I said before, the grace and the space to feel the way you're feeling. It's absolutely fine to feel the way you're feeling. It's not easy, and yet, as I said, human beings have grown through everything. This too shall pass. But right now, just accepting it. So imagine yourself that वो silky है और wife से hug मांग लो. So imagine it. You can imagine it's Kohinoor. It will do wonders.
There was certain things I never thought of doing in my life, and I never went to kitchen. I can make a cup of tea only, but I had never worked in the kitchen. But now I've started to take interest in doing kitchen business with the give her a hand there. In the cooking. I said, please teach me something every day.
Perfect. So when Kohinoor meets you, you will be able to cook the food for her. Huh?
Yeah. No, it's not a good feeling sitting inside, really, because we are human beings and we need to interact with other people. And but it's not happening at the moment. It has pluses and minuses, but there is a lot of minus as well, negatives as well.
Perfect to take the minuses along. Like I'm saying, just accept, just be yourself and be. It's okay to feel sad at times. It's absolutely okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Sushant, it was Mr. Kalra. It's lovely listening to you and listening to Preetinder and everyone around here. It's wonderful. I'm not in the picture here because I haven't got my turban on, so I don't want to be looked very nice. It is if for a sick person, unless you have a turban. I'm just letting you know, because if you haven't got a turban, yeah. For a especially sick person, if the turban is not on, you don't look smart. You look funny.
Sir, थोड़ी देर funny बन के भी देख लो, बहुत मजा आएगा.
No, next time I will sit properly dressed up.
Not a problem. It's okay. We even without a turban, even with a funny Ranbir, we are fine.
Thank you. Yeah, it's wonderful talking to friends. It is this is also a healthy part to talk to people around, friends.
My request to all of you is like what we created here in the last half an hour, 45 minutes. We can create this space at home every day. with our own children. And Silky, even if your daughter is just 1 year old, chat up with her about everything in life. Don't hold back. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. Uh, just chatting up, they know exactly who you are and what you're speaking. So they really connect. So whatever the age is, my request would be don't hold back. Unmask yourself with people around. This gives a space to people in your life to unmask themselves, because everybody right now is full up, and that is what the whole problem. We are all full up with our own emotions. That has a damage on our body and our work and our productivity. If we can create a space at home, what we just did, and had fun chatting, talking about our feelings, identifying them, sharing them without worrying about what other people think, it'll create a very, very easy space at home, which will ease out not just your pressure, your emotions, your anxiety, but also provide that space for everybody else to do that. So take it away. Please do that. It'll be good to hear from you what exactly you could do. Anybody else? I think it's 4:30. I don't know if you want to give a couple of people to speak something, or we can close. Your choice.
Can I take few questions? Thank you, Sushant. Can I take few more questions? Perhaps 2 or 3 questions. Can we take?
Absolutely.
We can take 2 questions.
So Gurvinder, Vidhi, CJ, MS, Aman, people who haven't spoken, my request is if you can just unmute yourself and speak.
CJ, sir.
Yeah. Good evening to you, and morning and good afternoons. I know there are people from across the globe, but I must say, Mr. Sushant, you have been excellent, and you have touched the core of the heart of everybody here. And even my son is back there, but then it's really, I believe that we have learned the newer ways of adjusting to this life, and the best thing is, I think you have very rightly pointed out exactly. Yes, we should take away our mask and be positive, and in fact start learning new vocabulary. I think this vocabulary of the positive words, which I believe does a lot of good to everybody. And I'm sure whatever the language we have got, maybe we won't have learned it in our lifetime. So this has brought up all of us together. And I think Jadugi is really the answer. And sitting even at a distance, I'm sure we can send across the positive vibes all across the globe. Yes. So thank you, Sushant. It was an excellent.
Yes. Just add something.
Yes.
Just want to add one thing from CJ. What you said is that we in our head makes certain emotions negative and certain emotions positive. So my request to all of you is like, do not make any emotion negative. So we say anger is negative. We can ask Ranbir, who said he was in the army. If that person on the border defending our country does not get anger to the extent of a rage, he will not be able to defend the country. So at that point of time, anger is very positive.
That's exactly.
If somebody hurts me or hurts my people around, my loved ones, I should be angry. And there are times when, so for example, if you've lost somebody, being happy at that point of time is very negative. So even happiness can be negative at times. So it's not negative and positive. Whatever you're feeling right now, whatever you're experiencing right now, just experience it and articulate it to people around you. It's perfectly okay to be whatever feeling you are having. It's perfectly fine.
Perfect.
And yourself the space and the grace to be. It's fine to be crying at times. It's fine to be depressed at times. So we are big enough to handle it.
And the best thing is that we are alive and kicking.
True. I think yes. Thank you so much, Sushant, for this wonderful session. Again, we all are taking back with with us so much that we have been taught today in this 45-50 minutes, and the bonhomie that got created, the shared expressions, the emotions that we all talked about. It's amazing, and as you very rightly mentioned, that these are all expressions. Nothing is wrong or right. Also, it's like very relative and very contextual. So thank you so much. And I think we should all sit back in our respective individual spaces, family spaces, and we should talk about it. We should definitely take that grab with us, and we can talk about it. And we do not have to be judgmental also. We can just let it be, and giving hugs is like, छप्पी तो मैं देती थी अपने घर में जो भी आते थे सबको, big hugs to them. But now I know that there's nothing wrong in it. So being pal is definitely not wrong. Not wrong. Thank you so much, Sushant, for your wonderful time, and really feel fortunate to have heard you again second time, and look forward to have many more sessions with you. And we will be sharing your details with our members as well. We have a strong membership base across 17 geographies that I have talked about, and all our attendees, Silky, our co-chair from Sydney chapter, Preeti ji, an active committee member, chapter committee member from Sydney chapter. You have all been a great support, and you have just given us the right kind of strength. And with this today, the first ever event or a webinar under the Sydney chapter, Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, gets culminated. Thank you so much for all the support that was extended by the co-chairs of Sydney chapter. And Silky, a last word from you, if I may ask you.
Yeah, Sushant, it's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming on board at such short notice. I read a little bit about you, so I'm actually going to touch base with you because I understand you do a lot with parenting, so it'd be good to learn a few skills from you. But thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
We're doing a session tomorrow, which is on with parents, about 90 minutes, 10:30 India time. If you guys want to join in, feel free. Maybe I'll send you a link.
In the morning or evening?
Morning. Evening 10:30. It will become too late.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I might.
It's very early. Yes, it will be perhaps midnight in Sydney. Yeah, I'm sure. Yes. So, Shukriya, Sushant, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to, again, connecting with you. And thank you so much for attending all our guests that have attended today and that have just made it very interactive and very closed interaction session. Thank you so much. And with this, I request all of you to keep watching for our other events that are there and be announced time and again. Stay engaged with us, join us as a member. The membership is free, and there's so much that PCC has to offer to all of you, and we have to learn from each other's capabilities and each other's network. Shukriya. Thank you. Have a great evening, great day ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Closing the session for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.